Tuesday, and today was an interesting day. The futures started up. We definitely could have had lots of reasons to break above 2,400, hold above it, extend. And as high beta tech was going and some banks looked a little strong, the spiders had no juice again. The small caps went red. The XLE became, I guess, a laggard / headwind, and just things felt heavier. So push comes to shove, indices fell down. Some things held in better than others, and that's basically been the story of the tape, where it's been very stock specific, especially if you want to be long, or you have to pretty much buy the indices perfect and just follow along. So at this point, you did have some red dog reversals across the board, meaning you pushed through a prior high, and if we held above it, you add a tier, and maybe you get further movement, or it pushes above it, squeezes shorts, comes back below it. Sometimes you sell your longs there, and sometimes people will short there versus the high of the day and then look for some downside type of follow through the prior day. So it's all different ways to use this strategy, but it's a way to adjust around your longs to get less long, or to get out of your longs, or maybe get short, or just wait and see what's next. So if you look here at the chart of the spiders, it's or the S&P, it's really nothing drastic. Okay, a lot of people are calling for an outside day. I'm not saying you kind of had one, but not really so potent. We came up to the highs here and basically didn't have enough power to get through again. But if you look at where we came from, and if you look at this range right here, we're still above the 8-day moving average, still above the 21-day, still above the 50, except for things aren't just fast and furious to the upside. So doesn't mean we're going to crash. It doesn't mean things are done. It just means that things aren't ready to continue and break out. Okay, at this point, you're still above the 8-day, so it's constructive. If you wanted to take a little bit of a spider hedge, because obviously the VIX doesn't work as a hedge, you do so. That's what I did versus some positions that I liked and I want to still stay in. This morning I talked about Amazon. Yesterday gave you a really nice trade. Okay, bought it above 941. I actually even added to it above 950 this morning pre-market. Sold some strength, and I'm still in some. I don't know if it's going to, this is a topping tail where all of a sudden we're going to fail and that's it for Amazon and high beta tech. I don't think so. I just think that, just wasn't enough power. The market came in, so it came in late. So I'm in some. Less than I had overnight. Here I was anticipating a breakout move that might have had more power. It didn't, and now we'll see what's next. So at this point, I'm still in some. We're a little extended, but I don't think it's game over. We'll see how we react tomorrow. As far as Apple, I've been long since Thursday. I'm flat Apple now. Doesn't mean it's a blaring short. Doesn't mean that they're not going to sell friggin' iPhones anymore or iPads, etc. But here is your first buyable spot after earnings. If you went home flat into earnings, here is your add. This is when I got long. I didn't even get long on earnings. I got long here. I added here. Sold some yesterday. Sold the rest today. Look how extended it is from the 8-day. Some guys are short. I'm not shorted. I don't want to be shorted right now. I think the bigger money is going to be long. It could pull back and be worth some money, but we'll see tomorrow. Maybe it opens up flat, trades below today's low tomorrow, then maybe I short it. But for overnight, you know what? I'm just not shorted. Some of you guys who have been fighting it, congratulations. You have a little bit of a move off the highs. That's what you've been waiting for. You'll see what's next. But for me, I like to be long this thing. Okay, and this was a nice 4-day move, and now I'm flat. First time in a while I'm flat, Apple. Tesla, very impressive move. I was hoping it would, do what it did last quarter, where it came in, hit the 50-day, go sideways, and then, start to break out to the upside. Instead, you had your post-earnings move reclaimed, the 21-day for shorts to cover, and then today took off above this spot. Would have been nice for a little bit more inside action. Didn't happen. Closed strong. I am long a little Tesla because I do think Tesla has a home a lot higher. So I was hoping to have a better pattern to trade from, and then I would probably have more long, but instead closed strong. So I'm still, I got back involved. We'll see what happens here if we could break out above there. All year long, think about what Red Dog said. What stock did I say is going to make new all-time highs? It's been public for almost 2 years, and it's been acting very well above the 8 and 21 day. Think, think, think. Okay, we've had option plays. We've had actionable trades. Well, anyway, it's BABA. Okay, you look at BABA. Nice move today. Closed near dead highs. I'm long it overnight. Took out this pivot. Stayed above the 21 day. Closed strong, even with the markets pulling in. You go to your weekly chart. I was on Annabelle's show on the New York Stock Exchange yesterday talking about how I think that in the next year, this thing could be close to $200. Okay, we talked about this inverse head and shoulders pattern. It could be even considered somewhat of a cup and handle. Either way, You've had lots of ways to maneuver it. Broke above here, it's back at high. Sometimes it brings in some resistance, sometimes it doesn't. All in all, closed real strong, and let's hope it has a little follow through tomorrow. Stock is just where it was back in 2015. You're talking 2 years later, you're talking digital, you're talking Alipay, you're talking, Amazon type qualities, you're talking AI, you're talking, Chinese economy, et cetera, et cetera. So to me, throw it in your IRA. Hopefully you did that earlier. And at this point now, it did close near the high, so it's worthy of taking some home. I'm also in a little bit of BIDU. That's my other name. It's not a leader, was a prior leader, finally had a big day one, engulfed this spot, so I'm thinking if things aren't too pressured tomorrow, it at least fills this gap, and then maybe they forget about what happened last quarter, gets a basic, what do we call that, a pass, and then, and then on the weekly chart, it finally gets moving a little bit. But we shall see. This again, too, I think long-term options are easier than the short-term trading of it. As far as, sector-wise, again, IWM came in. It's not really doing a whole heck of a lot. It's not really falling apart, and it's hanging in there. So, I guess this is your spot that some longs are trading against. We'll see, if we want to get some traction, it's going to have to get above that spot. XLF also not really, taking off, but, kind of rolling down a little bit. Still can't get above the 50-day. I was in the Bank of America, pretty much since all the way back here. It was here, added, sold some, was in it overnight. I just took it off at the close because it's just not, it's almost not worthy of my time for now. We'll see. Not saying it's going to trigger to the downside and get below this huge support, which would be very bearish for the market. But to me, it's giving me more of a signal to be neutral to out versus neutral to positive like you had on this candle. Oil, still a problem. It's holding this lower level by a thread. If it were to break this, it's going to be a headwind again. It's below every moving average. It's definitely been out of play and, just to the downside, and every rally's been sold. It's been below the 8-day for quite some time. Remember when it's above the 8 and 21-day, you try and be long like it was here, and then broke, and now it's been below, so you stay away and maybe trade small little trades tactically. So all in all, there's been lots of tradable moves. There's still some things that are showing relative strength to be long. Maybe you long less. Maybe you have a little hedge on. Just because, again, the indices are weak doesn't mean you can go out and short everything. And just because something else is weak doesn't mean you could short that. And just because something has been strong, you can't buy everything. So it's very stock-specific, very strategy-specific. So at this point, there are still some things that look good, but the indices just don't have the power because some, like in CNBC.com, I did an article last night. You can look at it online, just talking about how you're seeing a little bit of underneath the surface wear and tear versus just the 5, 6, 7 names that have, been, run away to the upside. We saw that a few years ago, and that typically means we're closer to a top than obviously to a bottom. But, until that happens, you got to be, just short names that are weak and long names that are strong, and in the indices, be a little flexible. With that, all that said, I'll see you in the morning. Have a good night.